Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 514 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I'm so happy you're here, and I really mean that. I love doing each and every episode and then sharing them so that we all grow together, because I know I grow with every single one, and I hope you do too. So don't forget to share and also give me a 5-star review if you're loving the episodes. I kind of like to think of each one as sort of spinach for the brain, because we know we're feeling it with other things like X and Instagram and news and other stuff, maybe even gossip that probably is not so great. So offsetting it with a little bit of mindset work, that will benefit your brain a lot, just the same as spinach or kale or vitamin C would do for your body. And we all need that, right? So let's keep it up. What do you say? All right, so this last week, my little sister called me. It was a few days ago, and she was excited about her New Year's Eve plans. Now, she was excited, but also a little apprehensive, because it was a masquerade ball that she was going to, and she had no idea what she should wear to a masquerade ball. Now, in her mind, and I know because I've done this before myself, there's this secret club of people who know exactly what to wear to a masquerade ball, and she wasn't part of that. You see, sometimes we think everyone else has it figured out, and we don't. So we had this conversation about what she should wear, and I had one idea and she had another idea. And finally, after talking about it a little bit, I just said, Molly, there's no one right answer. Unless there's a dress code, you just wear what makes you feel the way you want to feel, and you'll fit right in where you should. If you want to feel elegant or sexy, maybe a little bit of both. Wear that and then throw your mask on, which is kind of fun. No one has it all figured out, but sometimes we feel like they do, and we're just over here floundering about. Now, she chose this gorgeous dress and shoes, and she was gorgeous and also comfortable because she felt good in it. That's what is really important, right? Is that you feel like yourself. You feel authentic and beautiful in whatever you wear. So I thought about that conversation with Molly during my morning meditation. And I know you're not supposed to be thinking during meditation, but it happens every time, just so you know. You're not alone there either. Nobody has it all figured out every single time with meditation, not even the people that have been doing it for years. So just know that. But I thought about it because during the meditation, Jeff, the guide, was talking us through emotions and how a lot of us have like a deep emotion sometimes that is sort of low level, always in the background feeling. And he was kind of asking us to see if we could find one, if we had one. And what popped up for me was a bit of embarrassment for some of the things that I've done in the past. Things that for me today, I look back and I think, I wish I hadn't done that. But as I let myself feel the feeling, I ask myself, what is it that I need from this feeling? Like, why am I hanging on to it? And I realized it's because in my mind, other people are perfect, and I'm the only one with a past. And that's when I thought about the conversation with Molly, because here I am doing exactly what I was telling her she was doing. Funny how that works, isn't it? Like if you start being aware, you'll notice that the universe or God, however you want to say it, sends you hints all the time of how to be your best self, or of how you can become even better than you already are. So while thinking about this, I asked myself, why am I hanging on to this feeling of embarrassment? And the answer came to me. It's because I needed to see that those things in my past helped me grow into the person I am today. They were a vehicle of growth and learning. The person I am today makes different, more intentional decisions. But I'm only able to do that because of all the growth I've experienced from the pain and the sadness or the anger or whatever emotion comes up that I felt in the past. I read somewhere one time that if you don't look back on your past and feel at least a little bit of embarrassment, have you even lived? You see, we are who we are today because of our lived experiences. And so is the person sitting across from you or the stranger walking down the street. No one has it all figured out from the get-go. We all have a past. The question is, are we thinking about it in a way that holds us back, or in a way that empowers us. So we get that choice. We get to decide how we think about our past. Now, personally, I prefer to think about it in a way that's helpful. So, like, what good came from it? What did I learn? How did it help me move forward? And after I finished my meditation, I got really curious as to why that specific feeling came to mind. And I asked myself, like, what am I supposed to do with that feeling? What I realized is this. I realized that it wasn't just embarrassment that was hanging around for me. It was a low-level feeling of shame. I wanted it to just be embarrassment, but realistically, it was a low-level feeling of shame. I grew up in a religion where feeling shame was normal. It was almost a daily part of life once you got to a certain age. You see, shame is a form of control, and just about every normal teenage feeling was sinful in the religion that I grew up in. So you can imagine how shame became a regular part of life. But what was once normal for me no longer serves me. Like feelings of shame, if they aren't wrestled to the ground and snuffed out, they can do a lot of damage to not only who you are right now, but also your future. And I realized that I had some low-level shame that I needed to deal with. Because along with shame comes a feeling of being flawed, of being unworthy, of being paralyzed or shunned. All of which not only hurt you right now, but it hurts you moving forward too. And I'm glad I recognized that about myself because it was showing up here and there without me being aware of it. I mean, I kind of knew it deep down. I mean, when it's always there hanging out, I mean, you kind of know it's there. But this was the first time I let myself address it in a way that I have power over it. Shame doesn't have to be normal for me just because it was growing up. I don't have to feel shame every time I have a bad thought or every time I make a mistake. I can actually just stop thinking the bad thought. And I can learn from my mistakes without wearing them around my neck like an albatross because mistakes in life are normal. That's how we grow. They don't have to shape us by constantly berating ourselves because of them. They can shape us in a way that we grow from them, but actually shame doesn't allow us to do that. It usually keeps us paralyzed. It keeps us feeling unworthy, and that's why I needed to feel that this morning. It's because it's time to let go of any leftover shame. I wanted it to be just embarrassment because I'm an optimist at heart, and sometimes as optimists, we don't like to feel negative feelings, especially not deep ones. But it went deeper than embarrassment. And once I let myself feel what I knew was there, I also knew it was time to let that go. And I have the power to do that. So if you were raised a certain way to feel shame, or if you somehow picked up the feeling of shame along the way, understand that it may have served you briefly if it corrected something or encouraged growth. But carrying low-level shame around, it no longer serves you. In fact, it harms you. It is not a feeling we want to hang on to. We let it go, though, through self-awareness, just being aware that you have it in the first place. And while I'm on the topic of this, it could be that it's not shame for you. It could be a low-level sadness, a low-level anxiety, or a low-level anger. Any low-level kind of feeling that you can't pinpoint, but it's sort of always there in the background, and it kind of causes you problems in a way that you can't explain. For me, it's shame. For you, it might be something else. But getting to the root of it and acknowledging it no longer serves you, that's the first step. Just saying that feels good to me. I don't have to feel that low-level shame anymore just because it used to be my norm. It no longer serves a purpose. And I am the only one with the power to change it. And it's not going to happen overnight. I want it to. And the optimist in me says it can. But realistically, I know that letting go of a long-held feeling that no longer serves me is going to be a process. But it's one that I'm willing to do because I'm worth it. And so are you. Now, for me, I think I'll start with a thought or a mantra that counteracts the feelings, but also rings true because we're not lying to ourselves anymore around here. So it has to be true. Something like, I am so proud of who I am becoming, or I'm super thankful for my experiences because they've built me into who I am today. What we want to do is reframe our story or our past so that it empowers us. And you can do that with anything. So remember, there's no one perfect dress to wear to a masquerade ball, and no one has it figured out all the time. Your journey is yours alone, and it's valuable and needed just the way it's been. You aren't only growing yourself, you're helping others grow too when you learn from your mistakes, which means you're making the world a better place. And we love that about us. My challenge to you this week is to see if there's a low-level emotion you've been feeling for a while that no longer serves you. Just being aware of it is the first step, but counteracting it with a new thought or mantra is a helpful next step. So come up with your own, or you can just borrow the ones I came up with. I'll add them to the show notes. Share this with one person who you are so proud of who they're becoming. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.